So was this man in the process of evacuating as well?
He was not. He actually worked in the maintenance building behind me. He simply walked up to try to say, hey, there's a shooter in your building. Do you know what's going on? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Fire alarm went off. We're trying to evacuate everybody. And that's when he got shot. I'm still worried about the rest of my people who are in the building who are trying to be evacuated. We have a plan to shelter in place when they have shooters who come to the building. So they're slowly clearing that building and getting all of our people out. So between BlackBerry texts and everything else, I'm trying to track and make sure all of our people are out.
But you don't know what happened to the man who was shot?
I'm fairly certain he was dead because he was shot in the head.
Did you see that for yourself?
Correct.
That must have been very traumatic for you. And I mean, you're not showing it now, but I mean,
yeah, it's traumatic. But I don't feel lucky that he got hit instead of me, but I feel lucky to be here.
Was he shot back?
I can't remember right now.
So I'm just coming in on this. So you were in 197?
To start with, correct.
Okay. And you heard the shots, but you didn't see the shooter?
Correct.
Kind of walk me through beginning to end. Please.
So we heard what we sound like were shots, but like far away or muffled. And in fact, it sounded to me like a cap gun going off, like a really small caliber or something like that, if anything. And then about a minute or two after that, somebody was running through the hallways saying, hey, everybody get out of the building. And then about a couple minutes after that, the fire alarm in the building went off to evacuate everybody. So I thought it was like a fire drill, like anything else, just want to get everybody out of the building, so we walked out of the building. And part of my job is to make sure people get down the fire escapes. Sure. Part of my job is once everybody gets out of the fire exits to make sure they get away from the building and muster. That's what I was doing in the alley, waiting for everybody to clear out of the building when the other shots rang out.
Now, at what point does this man come up to you and tell you, are you aware that?
So I've been standing in the alley for maybe 5 or 10 minutes waiting for everybody to come out of the building, make sure there's nobody left. And he walked up and told me that he heard that there was a shooter in our building. And we were just standing here maybe 3 feet away having a conversation, and then we heard 2 more gunshots, and he went down, and that's when I ran.
While you were speaking to him?
While I was talking to him.
And you said you knew him? He was
And I never met him before in my life.
Or did you know where you were?
But he came out of the maintenance building. That's what he was saying. Like, hey, I'm working in the maintenance building, and I was coming over to, see what was going on.
So as you're talking to this man, shots are fired from behind him, and he falls to the ground.
Probably in front. I mean, we're facing our building, 197. So obviously from the building, either from the bottom floor. I thought they came from the fire door at the bottom floor, but they could also come from the roof at that time.
What is going through your mind at that time that this man you're speaking to goes down?
So I understand gunshots at that point, because before inside the building they were kind of muffled, like you didn't know exactly what it was. In the alleyway with the amount of sound reverberating, you know exactly what it is. But not to mention that he's in the ground in front of you, bleeding. So I turned, ran the back side of that building. I want to get something between me and wherever else the shooter was, make sure that he couldn't, shoot me as well. So I ended up running around the maintenance building, jumping like a 20-foot fence, and then ended up over here.
I understand you need 2 security badges.
Tim Juris, J-I-R-U-S.
Don't know about that. I mean, I have a CAT card. As a military person, we all have badges that you have to key the door to get in. That allows us automatic access to the building. But again, if you're a contractor, if you're coming to visit the building, you can go through security and walk right in. Not walk right in, but you would check in through security.
Do you feel like it's a secure building for the most part?
Not today. So it'll be interesting to see as this develops, who the shooter is, how he got in, those type of questions answered. I think right now a lot of people are wondering, just how safe the building is or how safe the office environment is. So we don't know who the shooter or shooters are, if they were related to, our job and our building, if they were part of our co-working workers. We have no idea.
And it didn't seem did it seem that the shooter was just randomly shooting at people? I mean, could you pick up?
I couldn't tell.
You don't know.
Yeah.